Hey, good Monday morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. Thanks for joining me. Got quite a crowd already. Good morning to everyone. And, I got to say, when we're going to look at this together, the upper air pattern looks more like late September than it does late August. And that's for the next couple of weeks. So there's going to be more of a fall feel to the air. If you take the next 10 days, there's going to be more of a fall feel to the air than a summer feel. We do have some great weather. We do know that fall provides us some really nice, warm, low humidity days, perfect days. Those are coming. And fortunately, we're going to look at the Labor Day weekend. Fortunately, the Labor Day weekend right now looks dry. Looks like it starts cool, and then every day we tack on about 3 to 5 degrees, and by the time we get to actual Labor Day, it may almost feel like summer. So let's get on into it. And so I'm talking fall weather, and so we got to talk spotty lake effect rain showers. Terry DeBoer, Boyne City, chance of midweek rain Thursday. I'll show you that. A second cold front drops south on Wednesday night, Thursday, maybe Wednesday night for Boyne City. And you get also the possibility of a spotty lake effect rain shower. The point is, right now, not too showery across our great state. Sometimes I feel kind of bad saying our great state. It is a great state, but it almost sounds like I'm a politician, and that would be a no-go. So here's the satellite imagery. Hey, let's say hi to some folks. Good morning, Zandra Belson from Nashville. I still have to check out Nashville, Michigan. Connie Steiner, good morning. Stacy Nag, good morning. Henry and Mima. Any risk of frost this week? No. No risk of frost anytime soon, even though we're talking cooler weather, because the Great Lakes are quite warm. And it's just a cool down. It's not extreme. Xander Belson loves the fall weather, as a lot of people do. Okay, so satellite picture shows some of us have sunshine, some of us have the lake of clouds, and as we go through the day, sometimes the best forecast I've found over the last 36 years, sometimes the best forecast is a non-committal forecast. You know me. I like to say snow or rain will start at this time in this area, this time in this area. I like start times, end times, and amounts. But occasionally, the best thing that I can tell you is variable clouds and quick spurts of showers. You're like, what does that tell me? It tells you variable clouds, some occasional sunshine, occasional clouds. It's the classic wait 5 minutes type day, and you could have a downpour, lesser so in the southeast, away from the lakes, but even Ann Arbor and Detroit could cloud up in the afternoon and get a stray shower. So there's your flow. It's a lake effect flow, which is certainly, isn't it, a kind of a fall talk? All right, so I lost what I wanted to show you here. Bear with me just a second. I want to show you the high-resolution rapid refresh radar forecast, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's not a big coverage on showers, but this is noon, 1, 2 o'clock, 3, 4, so a few spurts of showers. Soaked all day? No way. Dry most of the day? Yes. Spotty shower? Yes. Okay, so here you are, 11 o'clock tomorrow. And to me, it looks like the lake effect still could continue spotty into tomorrow. I want to show you the upper airflow though, because remember, I always feel like this gives you a good perspective of what the weather's like in the future. If on the upper air, if we get one of these big domes shaped like this and the colors look hot in it, that's hot air aloft. We get very summery, even at this time of the year. Still summer. If the upper airflow looks like this, that means the cooler air aloft is sinking down, unstable, often on showers, and that's actually what you're going to see a lot of here in this upper air forecast. So let me talk you through this. This is the European in its deterministic mode. I have to sit down one of these days and come up with a better term than that. Meteorology uses some terms that just don't make any sense. Like when a hurricane moves north into the colder waters and can't be a hurricane, we call it an extratropical cyclone. Let's make it more difficult for the average person like you to understand. Extra usually means more. When you get extra fries, you get more fries. So extratropical would lend people to think it's even more tropical than a hurricane, but no, it means that it's non-tropical. All right, I'll shut up now and get to the weather. So this is our upper airflow. Look at where the black lines are basically the wind flow aloft. And if you trace one of these lines from center of lower Michigan back to the west, to the north, it's coming out of Hudson Bay in Canada. And when you see these notice the Big Bend coming down, that's the secondary cold front that I'm talking about. It swings through, and this is Friday. That's a chilly type of flow. And as we go into the weekend, that slowly erodes. We're still cyclonic curvature, C-shaped wind flow, which is still more clouds than sunshine. But as we go into Sunday, the ridge starts to build aloft, kind of from the north. So the cool air will be stubborn to erode. The sunshine will erode it. This is Labor Day. And that's not a bad picture. That is sunshine, and it's sunshine doing its best to get us to 80 degrees. And then here comes another bend out of the northwest. This is September 4th and September 5th. And guess what? That is a fall type pattern too. You do not see a big ridge. And as we go out to September 8th, you do not see a big ridge, which, by the way, and I'm probably going to write about this on MLive, that would be good for the U.S. Gulf Coast and Southeast hurricane season, because it would be a shear producer, and it would be something that would harass hurricanes from developing. This is that same model in its ensemble mode. So 51 tweaks. Thursday, does it show the same thing? Yes, it does. It shows a cold front coming through. This weekend, does it show the same thing? A ridge slowly trying to build. This is Labor Day. Yes, it does. And then in the extended, does it show a northwest and cool flow? This is September 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th. Yes, it does. All right, so here's your high resolution rapid refresh. I already showed you that, spotty showers. Here's the European model's total precip over the next couple of days. And I like this because it kind of shows you Charlevoix, Kalkaska, Mansalona, Traverse City area, Leelanau County, Benzie County, Manistee County, down the shoreline into Allegan, into Benton Harbor, St. Joe. It shows you the spotty showers. Grand Rapids, you just have a brief shower in line. And in the eastern part of the state, a brief shower under 1/10 of an inch. And then we go to Thursday's cold front coming straight out of the north, and that might be 1/4 to 1/2 inch rain and maybe a little bit of enhancement off the lakes once again. We don't add on anything through the holiday weekend. We'll take it. 90% of a good holiday weekend is dry weather. and sunshine, and that's what we will mostly have, and we don't have any sort of rain on tap until we get to several days out into September. Let me grab the surface pattern off of this same model, and I just wanted to show you. So here's your spotty showers today. Tomorrow I would call it dry, except in the classic lake effect areas, a brief spotty shower. And then Wednesday I would call it dry up through evening. The cold front coming southward. This is Wednesday night, overnight Wednesday night. And then we go to, this is Thursday. So Thursday looks like a wet day. If you're planning on something on Thursday, the cold front looks to be active, and it looks to be moving south across the state during the day. And then as we get to Friday, dry except for in the thumb. That's the north wind lake effect. This is Saturday. That's beautiful. This is Sunday. That's beautiful. Light wind may be a very nice feature on this holiday weekend coming up. And this is Labor Day afternoon, and that's beautiful as well. But like I said, we're going to have to rely on the power of the sunshine. So here's today's high temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s, low 60s in the north. Here's Tuesday's high temperatures, 67 to 70. Here's Wednesday, back to the mid 70s. Here's Thursday. Remember, the cold front's coming south. We have showers, so we're cooler. We're only 60 in Gaylord. Dig out the chili recipe, right? 70 in Grand Rapids, Saginaw, 74 in Ann Arbor and Detroit. Here's Friday. Although we have cleared the cold front out, the chilly air is around. Saturday, back to about 70. Sunday, probably in the low 70s. Sunday will probably be about 72 to maybe 75 in the south. Labor Day, 75 to 80. Very nice weather on the way. If you don't like the heat and humidity, and if you don't like the really chilly weather just yet. But the mornings, that's where you get the fall feel. If you're an early morning person, you get out the door to head to work. Tomorrow morning, 50-ish degrees, inland, northern half of lower Michigan, upper 40s. Wednesday, 43 in Grayling, 45 in Gaylord, 46 in Cadillac, 40s all the way down to Jackson in Coldwater. Thursday in the 50s. Then remember, the cold front comes through, so Friday morning in the 40s and 50s, Saturday morning. We're into the holiday weekend. You roll out the door. Ooh, let me grab a sweatshirt. Sunday morning, well, let me use that sweatshirt again. Labor Day morning. Still on the cool side, but remember, with full sunshine, we take away that somewhat coolness pretty quickly. So my point is, we woke up on this Monday. I told you it was going to happen, but we woke up this Monday and said, where'd summer go? Is it coming back? It will come back. It would be a losing bet most of the time if I did not predict that some summer weather will come back. But I got to tell you, this is a pretty strong pattern right now. If it sticks for a couple of weeks, then when summer comes back, the sunshine has less power. So are we done with 90? I would say yes. It's going to be really tough to go from this pattern to back to 90. Are we done with 85? No, I would say no, but we probably only have a handful of those in September, given the fact that the first looks pretty chilly. There's your MLive morning weather update. Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad you asked? Maybe, maybe not. The seasons progress, my friends. So we've had a pretty long summer. We've had a pretty warm summer. A lot of people saying, this is the hottest one I can ever remember. No, it's about 2 to 3 degrees warmer than normal, which doesn't really even put it in the top third. But ironically, I think is the right word, as I showed you in a post that I wrote a week or so ago, July was in some places the second muggiest July ever. So, and you know what? That fits to the afternoon temperatures not being able to soar, because humid air really kind of has a top end capacity. If we're going to head toward 100 degrees, it's usually a touch drier, at least on those extreme heat days. There's your weather forecast. It says fall. Went to the black clothing. Take care. Have yourselves a great day. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.